All right, guys.
Alrighty.
We love the effects.
All right. We got the question thing enabled over there or over there. One of those places. Actually, Ben, can you load it up on your end? Just make sure everything's working fine. That we can get some. Yep. Run live. That we get some comments from you guys. We got people filing in slowly. How's everybody doing today? Just note what you do post is going to be public. Everyone's going to be able to see it.
Yep. Just note that there's going to be a couple-second delay from the time that you guys post a question, sometime between, I think, it's 7 and 15.
Yeah, right on our side here at 2:10 p.m. So whatever time you got there, subtract it, and that's how far ahead we are. We're from the future. We are time travelers from the future.
SEO time travelers. Let me just
all right, so no questions have popped in yet, so it might be a little bit of a delay for questions.
Yeah.
All right, if you're not showing something for questions, look at the top left or right of your screen. There should be a button there.
Yeah, top right.
All right, so the top right corner. Am I pointing at it right now? Oh, nope, not yet.
Did you press go?
Yeah, you're pointing at it.
Press go.
Yep, I did press go.
Yep, you're just pointing at it.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're live, so any issues anyone's having is a bandwidth issue on your end.
There's a 55-minute delay today.
There's a 55-minute delay today? That's not good. Oh, no, that's Frank. All right, guys. If you don't know how to submit a question, we got a lot of people in, but nobody submitted a question yet. So let's do this. First person to submit a question gets a special mention here on SEMeasy because we got to make sure it's working. So top right, one of those ways of your screen, there's a button there, and what does that button look like, Ben?
It's 9 little boxes all on a square.
There's 9 little boxes all on a square. If you click that, you'll be able to open up the pane to see the questions. And we got our first question here from Ben saying, "Can I win a prize?" So it is working. If not, we'll just, I guess, use the chat module on SEMeasy. But it's better to do these questions. All right, it's better to do these questions through the question and answer, thing built into Google. That way, when you go back and rewatch the video, or somebody joins later and starts watching the video, they could actually click each question and get a time. There we go. Now questions are coming in. All right. So if you see a question and you also have the same question, don't submit it again. Upvote the question that somebody already submitted.
Where can they submit the questions? Where do they find it?
Yep. What? Oh, the screen's going up. That's all right. You guys can't even see our notes on the back end anyway. Let's see. Where can they submit questions? They could submit questions by clicking.
On the right-hand side, just click Ask the question.
Click on the. I'm either pointing to it or one of those there. There's 9 boxes. Click those 9 boxes, and then you'll have a pane pop out on the side of your screen, and you could post your questions there. Yeah, people are saying they had to find it, blah, blah, blah. Did I get a haircut? No, but I desperately need a haircut, and I need to take this crap off my face, too. All right.
The image that you're seeing is what they're seeing, so when you're pointing left, and it shows.
Okay, when I am pointing to the, well, that's my left, but to the right, then, okay, that's actually, so it's right around there, guys, 9 boxes. And click that, and you'll get the question answer stream, and we'll be able to start interacting with you guys. All right, so let's see. Kevin goes 11111. Is Frank wearing pants? Great question. When will Ben be fired?
Is that Frank?
Yeah, that is Frank. Not soon enough, if you ask me. Am I awesome? Yes, yeah. Keith, you are awesome. Did I get a haircut already? Is this the A/B chat? I got a really good response to that, but I'm not going to say it. All right. Are you guys crushing it with DA? Yes, we are, and a few other things as well. Let's see. Steve's asking, did somebody win the car already? Which one? The fancy yellow one or the red one? Or the new black one?
No, we got a What do we have? We've got an old jalopy in the back.
Oh yeah.
3 of the tires are working.
We're actually right outside of the office is a auto body repair shop, so they got a lot of cool cars coming in every now and then. Could just steal one of those and start giving those away.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in. I know that a lot of you guys have asked about the replays. Jake, if you want to just talk about the replays real fast.
Yeah, I'm just going to go. Let's just clear out the junk real first, though. Is Frank wearing pants? All right, answered that. I'm not wearing any pants. How do I hide this drum? There we go. Oh, it needs to be that way, so it's flipped. Okay.
That you're recording. Thank you, my friend. You are a lifesaver. And we got those other videos. So.
Yeah. As far, let me turn that off because it might be slowing down the other stream here. Why does DA? All right, these are great questions. I just want to remove the junk ones. Okay, Dale, you're recording this. Awesome. I believe it's recording on our end too, but we'll double check that. You guys should have like a DVR feature, and you could pause, rewind, and whatever. You just can't fast forward because we have.
Yeah, I look fat, and I actually lost 20 pounds.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You could give me some of those because I could desperately use them. Look at that SEO man cave. Yeah, it is quite the man cave here. The PS4 is set up on the side too for the nice screen we got. All right, let's get into it. We got a few updates on our end, and then we'll jump into the QA thing as a whole. You may have noticed it's been a little dead for the replays on SEMeasy.com. As you guys know, the last one was mobile as well, right? Yeah, the last 3. I've been coding for about a month straight now, which is why I kind of, have the acne and whatever. That just comes from coding and not sleeping. But it's we were doing all of those mobily, so I could code from home and not have to worry about driving all the way into the office and dealing with traffic and whatnot, and just takes a whole day away. So we had it all being recorded on my laptop, but Andrew was the one who was doing the video streams from his laptop. So the difference in resolution was screwing with the entire thing. The GoToWebinar uses a proprietary codec itself, and I have it set up here at the office so that when we do one of these recordings, right after the webinar is over, it goes and converts it over to a WMB file, which I can then go and edit and whatever and make it for an online broadcast. But because of the difference in resolutions and the difference in video codecs, we had 2 different versions, I guess, installed. The entire thing was just all out of whack. The audio wasn't synced with the video. There's crap happening on the side of the screen. Weird artifacts in the video itself were popping up. So what we did is we reached out. Somebody actually had some of them, the sessions recorded on their end, and we were going to go use some of those. But I found a legacy program from Citrix themselves, which is really, really old now. And the website to download it was actually a little sketchy. The only reason I did trust it was because it was on citrix.com. It just hadn't been updated in forever. But I downloaded it, was able to recover 2 or maybe even all 3 of the lost webinars, so to say. So we don't need to deal with the Camtasia re-recording or whatever. We got the original raw files now back in their WMV format. So we are, I'm in the process now. And that's what I was doing before the webinar jumped into the webinar, I should say, getting those videos all prepped up and ready to go. So there'll be a nice, back flood, or, the floodgates will open, so to say. And there'll be some fresh content for you guys who've been waiting for those webinars as soon as they're out there. But they have been restored, recovered, whatnot. Really, really sorry for the delay, guys. I know we put in our emails that we make every effort to record them, but sometimes stuff happens, and that's why it's there. And we highly strive or suggest that you guys come and join us when we are live if you do have the time, because it's a lot more fun when you're with us. Anyways, that covers the webinars.
That covers the webinar. Let's go into a couple of things that we've seen in the SERPs, and then, like I said, after that, we'll break into questions and answers, because I know a lot of people have questions that they want to get.
Sure.
The one thing that Jake and I have been seeing in a huge amount, and Jake, I don't know if you can actually share your screen here, if that's going to screw everything all up.
I could share a screen.
Oh,
that's
did a capture.
Right button. Screen share. There
screen
we go.
Share. So let's just
share screen 2 here, so we can still see us. All right. And one brief second, guys. Let me bring us right back. Okay. What do you want me to show?
So let's just open up a browser, and what we were seeing was, and this is something that we mentioned in a Q&A. We mentioned in the Q&A, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
But once again, we didn't have the replay up, so some of you guys might not have grabbed it, so we're going to throw it out there again. This is something, it's been around, they've been playing with it, but we're seeing it on a huge basis at this point. And it's basically like an authority citation, I guess you'd call it. I'm sure that Google has some sort of freaking official name or whatever else, right? But this is it right here, right?
And so you'll even see on the google.com, where is it pulling? It's not even pulling from
It's
Google.
not even pulling from Google, right? So we've actually had we've had Nick who's in our office, and we'll introduce you guys to Nick in a few. But we've just had him doing like just tons and tons and tons of different searches. All right. The only ones that we've really come across that seem to be relatively steady are Wikipedia business pages or a DMOZ listing. There may be other ones out there, and if you guys come across them, we'd love to know. But it's, yeah, right there. So for instance, let's just do this. Let's go up to the search bar real fast, the query box, and let's just type in used cars suffered. Okay. Now you'll start to notice that not all of them have it. Okay, especially in the local searches, but you'll see this one is a DMOZ listing. All right. And it actually brings you right to the page. Now, everybody thought DMOZ was dead, right? I thought DMOZ was dead. Try and get a DMOZ, one of these guys that they actually have to manually submit you into DMOZ.
Yeah.
See if you can actually get one of them to do it. It's like you have a better chance of having God come down and do one of our webinars. But long story short, yeah, look at that, in partnership with AOL, for the love of God, right? But if you have a listing there, it should pop in the listings. And what we're finding is that on some really tough searches, these citations are making all the difference in the world. Here, go click on the motor trend. Once again, it's a Wikipedia page. So if you don't have a business, and once again, these are for sites that are real hardcore businesses, because Wikipedia just doesn't let anybody create a business page.
Not only that, but they are properly siloed as well. Just want to note that.
Yeah, they are. But once again, not all of them. Like Penny Saver doesn't have one. And there's
nope, this is not a proper silo here.
But I can tell you guys that we're seeing these things pop up all over the place. Here, carsforsale.com, right down there on the bottom. Take a look at that one. It's a DMOZ listing. So, once again, try and get yourself a list in the DMOZ if you can. Once again, I know that I've tried for like years to get one of my websites listed in DMOZ, and their moderators still won't put me in. Try and get yourself a Wikipedia business page if you can. Once again, if you're going to create the Wikipedia business page, do not use any sort of like sales language or anything in there. No self-promotion. They're going to just freaking delete it on you right off the bat. So just make it very factual. But this is one huge thing that we've been seeing in the SERPs, and it's one thing that we highly recommend that you guys take advantage of right now, because Google is obviously weighting it pretty heavily right now.
Yep. All right, let's pop back on to. All
right.
Yep.
So with that being said, once again, that's the little tidbit for the day that we're actually going through. What else? What else we got? I mean, there's really not a whole lot of
updates.
Yeah.
We got some questions in here that we'll get to. There's been a lot of work on some really, really cool stuff for you guys who signed up for the what do we call this, super secret project. It's a terrible marketing name or whatever. But for those of you who signed up and were in the webinar, we got all the paperwork right here. We're going through it all. These are all, the reports I was showing you guys that we capture all those metrics, and Andrew and I are vetting them. I know we wanted to have it done that day. We're all really super excited, but it does take a little bit of time, unfortunately, like everything else. And squeezing it into the schedule is, there's only so many hours in the day, but we are doing it. And we're super, super excited about our super, super secretly, terribly named project.
Yeah. All right. So with that, let's just jump through some of the questions, because I know that, you guys aren't here to listen to us babble.
Yep. All right. So again, if you see a question that you like, upvote it so we know to
and
answer it quickly.
Ganti, thanks for all your help. And we still got to touch base this week, so we'll touch base.
And your work was not in vain. I really do appreciate you taking the time to upload those, especially the 10-hour recording file. That was really nice of you to take the time and dedicate your computer and your bandwidth and whatnot to upload that for us. So again, big shout out to Ganti. All right, we got let's see. I want a special area in the forum just for the SEO show. We could probably do that. We'll see how it fits in.
You know what? For those of you guys that don't know, and obviously I don't even know how we didn't mention this right at the very beginning. Frank and Byron from the SEO show, they are now coming under the SEMeasy blanket.
Yep.
We will make every effort. I think Frank is going to be doing the SEO shows on Fridays. And you know, we will get out more information between now and then. But if you guys have not subscribed to the SEO show, definitely subscribe.
Yep, it's
all SEO related. I mean, it's a lot of fun, okay? Because SEO shouldn't be all just metrics and analytics. Yeah. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of truth, okay? So Frank and Byron, they're going to be bringing people on the show. They're going to be bringing different people that may be putting products out there that they've looked at and they thought were really awesome. Once again, we don't do any affiliates, so the only way that you're going to get on that show is if you have a really cool product and a really killer product.
Yep, they're going to be doing interviews with the publishers and the authors of these plugins themselves. You know, they'll eventually, and not eventually, they already have the clout from us, but they're probably going to have early access to these plugins and be able to review them beforehand. And their whole thing is, you know, we're an open book. If you want to come in, it doesn't matter if your initials are AB or MC, or if nobody's ever heard of you before. You know, if you got something cool that you want to share with the community, they're going to bring you on. And if it's crap, they're going to call you on your crap. But we'd expect no less from them. It's good SEO programming. So even if you don't use the plugins, you don't use SEMchat, you don't use the forum, you don't log into the website ever, you don't participate in the live discussions, you just catch the replays every once in a while, well, there's going to be a ton more material for you to watch. Sounds like a little HBO subscription at that point you're paying for, but search it's going to be SEO themed entertainment. So yeah, and it's not skewed, it's not biased.
We will put a forum in the SEO show. We will put a section in the forum for the SEO show. Absolutely.
Yep. All right, so next question. Can I get a link for the SEO show? I am not aware of it. Yeah, I could absolutely do that. See, actually,
I'm just going to take some notes here myself.
Yeah, Frank, sorry for the traffic that's going back and forth. We just had the door open for a second. Let me pull up the SEO show on a Google search. Should be, yep, it's right there. And let me see if I could get their Google Plus page itself. About, yeah, well, I got the link right here. Oh no, here it is, Google Plus. All right, I got that, and I'm going to go and put it into the showcase feature. So it's now going to be displayed right next to us, right next to the SEMeasy thing. And let it just load up real quickly in the showcase. Hopefully Google can support their own Hangouts. All right, the SEO show. Didn't pull in the right image. Just give me one quick second. So Andy, why don't you keep updating them so we don't have dead space here.
Okay. So let's see. So we got the SEO show. We've got. I think somebody was asking about citation. About can we go a little bit more in depth into that citation thing that we're seeing on Google? So what we were actually seeing is that when you're in the SERPs and you've done a search result for a search for whatever particular keyword you're looking for, these little authority citations pop up, and most of them seem to be all Wikipedia, and they seem to be pulling about whatever website that's listed from the Wikipedia business page that they've set up, and we're finding that it's giving huge authority ranking to the sites that have a Wikipedia business page. The other citation that we're coming across quite a bit is the DMOZ. And DMOZ also is giving that citation mark. I don't even know really what the hell it's called. We should probably, jump into that a little bit further and find out what Google's officially calling it. But that's really what it is. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and try and get a Wikipedia page, a Wikipedia business page, to grab that citation, or get your get your website listed in DMOZ, DMOZ.org. If you guys aren't familiar, it was absolutely the bomb back in the day, right? But DMOZ.org is kind of dead. I said powered by AOL. It's like, I know that Google took them over.
Well, that's why they trust them. It's a PBN that you can't.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Talk about hiding in plain sight. I mean, they are one of the largest PBNs out there, and they're in plain sight. And not only that, but Google trusts them.
Yep. So I mean, that's basically what it is. I mean, outside of that, you just got to go out and you got to get that citation, and Google will flow it to you in the SERPs, and obviously flow it straight across through, as far as your trust factor goes.
Yep.
All right. What else do we got?
All right. Yep. That's the link right there to the YouTube page itself, right up on top.
And subscribe to it, guys, if you guys aren't subscribed already.
Yep. And if you check out the showcase, then you could also get a link straight to the Google Hangout, or the Google Plus page, I should say. All right. Next. What do we got here? Kevin's question's got a ton of votes, or 3. So
okay. So I have a 3,000 post
landlord. 30,000.
I'm sorry, 30,000 post landlord style site that's generating about $2.50 in AdSense, and it is first page for a lot of cities, even big cities. Any advice on taking it to the next step as far as building revenue? Yeah, there's a couple of things that you can do. So if it's building out, like I said, $2.50 a day, I mean, there's a couple ways you can go about this, Kevin, right? So we can either scale, or what we can do is, if we found that there are higher paying keywords within that niche, you obviously are not going to be able to go back and remake your site.
Mm-hmm.
But what you will be able to do is, and this is a little trick that I've learned, you can create a text widget, and you could put some static text in that text widget that includes some of the higher paying keywords. And what that will do is, obviously, if Google feels as though they have the opportunity to be able to present a better ad because it sees higher paying keywords that's related, those ads. So I've gone ahead and I've actually kind of fine-tuned and tweaked by putting in a text box into my widget, which then shows up on every page. And as Google's scrolling that page and it determines what ad to tee up, that it will sometimes help me just push that to, rather than getting 20 cents a click, I might wind up being able to get $1.20 a click, because I kind of focused on, higher end keywords that were within that niche. So that's really one thing you could definitely check out.
It's on page SEO for the Google bot, which determines which ad, or the AdWords bot, really. But it's it's not going to negatively impact your pages at all. If anything, Google will see it as like a small little update or snippet you made, and they'll appreciate it.
But my whole thing is, especially with AdSense, we build and go, okay? And what we do is, once we find a niche that we're making some, so you have, just to make sure you got one site that's making $2.50 a day, okay?
That's a 30-day average month. That's
$75
a month.
Okay.
Now what you got to do is make 10.
You
got to make 10 of those sites. Now you're making $750 a month. If you do that 10 sites a month, you just do the math on that. It's pretty cool. I mean, that's $750 the first month, and then the next month's going to be another $750
on top of that, so it's $1,500, so and once again,
well, no, it's $1,500 that you've made total plus $750. So
correct.
By the second month, you're already making $2,250. The third month, you multiply that by 2 and add another $750 to it. You've made 30 sites now. You're looking at $5,250.
So it's a matter really of scaling, and it's a matter of also trying to tweak that site to get the best clicks that you can out of it. But usually what we do is we don't spend a whole lot of time tweaking. I mean, if there's a site that's getting a ton of clicks, but they're just not good paying clicks, then either we pick the bad niche, or we'll try and tweak it if our keyword research and our AdSense research has showed us differently. And then maybe we just, Google's just mis kind of reading it, if you will.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on. I think that we're getting some questions here.
We are. I was just doing the math here. I want to see how many sites you have to have going to be making over 10 grand. So if we divide that out by 75 per site, so 150 sites running concurrently in order to make 11.25 grand, which, you know, if you have a platform where you can go and build out these sites rapidly and you're not waiting like 4 hours or 2 days or whatnot to get these sites done, then it's, you know, that's
a home run.
That's a home run. And we'll leave that at that right now.
All right, so Yahoo directory is dead. Yes, so sad. It is. The Yahoo directory that they used to bang me for $2.99 every month. See, the Yahoo directory back in the day, like it was, you had to be listed in the Yahoo directory because it just gave out such huge link juice, and it actually used to show up in the SERPs. I guess Yahoo is killing it off, and unfortunately, like if they just left it on, you know how many people actually would have just continued paying? Oh my God! Yeah. So you know what it is. You know,
I'm sure there was a rationale behind it on there, and Yahoo went through a lot of changes.
Yeah, they got a new CEO. They got you know.
Yeah, they used to have a work at home program, and then the new CEO came in and got rid of that.
Yeah. All right. So if I purchased a domain that was DMOZ listed, and 301 did to my main domain, would that work the same as a regular listing? I don't know, Peter. It's a good question.
It very well might.
It would definitely be interesting to check it out. On the first thing I would say is no, but that doesn't.
Google will have to re-crawl DMOZ, which they are doing obviously because they're pulling in that rich snippet data. So I mean that's
yeah, Peter. You know what? If you go ahead, if you have one or whatever else, or if somebody has one, they want to try it, definitely let us know. That would be something really interesting.
It would need to be niche related, obviously, because I'm sure they're looking for something, but it might not though. And the reason being is they might be looking at the URL in particular that's being displayed in the browser, in which case if you did a double agent overlay of the money site to the other URL instead of doing a 301 redirect, it would work. What do you think about that?
I think you fucking bended my mind in about 12 different directions.
I think that's the way you do it, is you keep that old domain. Sure, it's if it's DMOZ listed, you got the domain there. If it's in niche, it doesn't really matter. Then you do the overlay on top, so you're not spreading thin any of that link juice. And I was thinking, like, what's the Google algorithm doing to pull in that information? It's obviously, for Wikipedia, it's searching for company name, company title, but for DMOZ, it's not that structured. They're probably pulling out an exact match of the URL itself, in which case the 301 wouldn't work because you have a new domain name, and they're not going to find it in the DMOZ directory or index, whatever the hell they're searching, whatever database they created by crawling DMOZ. They have direct access to their own servers.
Yeah, but once again,
if you did an overlay, then
I mean potentially, but what really what it comes down to is it's still really new. So yeah, I mean that potentially could work, but I always hate to go out on that. It could, you know. Yeah. I would love to test it and play with it.
It's something that needs to be tested, but it's a great idea.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
All right. So
new question. If I build a 30,000 page site on a new domain and I include a link on each of the pages that points to the home page, will the page rank of the home page, or will the page rank of the home page grow by just having a link to the home pages from all the inner pages? Not really. Google.
Yeah, the silo effect on your site would be greater, but you know, you're not going to create a Big Bang Theory, you know, link juice out of
it's not
nothing.
Like you could create an internal PBN on the site itself to promote itself. With that said, though, you can do it. I don't think you could do it for subdirectories, but I know, and Andrew and I have gone through the patent extensively, that type of method will work for subdomains. It does work for subdomains, but it doesn't work for...
But the problem is with subdomains is that too many subdomains and your site gets hit. So exactly. it's that fine, it's a really fine balance. It's a balancing act.
Yep. Let's see, next question here. Is there somewhere in the training that shows some examples of what a good landlord site looks like? As an example, the 30,000 post site that is generating $250 a day. Still trying to get my head wrapped around this. Well, Kevin, Kevin was the other, it was the 250. Kevin's been with us since forever. He was a $99 member. For you guys who have no idea what I'm talking about, that just shows how long he's been with us. So Kevin has sucked up or taken in, is a better terminology, tons and tons of knowledge over the past few months. And I've seen from his posts both on Facebook and on SEMeasy that he's more than happy to share that knowledge with you. So reach out to Kevin for any tips or pointers, I would say,
absolutely,
for developing the sites themselves. We do have the forum where we have that checklist going. We need more people to comment on it, though, before we could put that entire thing together and have a finalized version. But it really depends on the niche itself, A, how you want the site to be themed, and B, what you're planning on doing with it, whether or not it's an AdSense type site, or if it's going to be a overlaid site for a client or for an affiliate type product. You know, we can't just say this is how your site should look, but we could give you tips and pointers on how to monetize it to make it the most, the highest potential possible.
And we're firm believers that Jake and myself, we like to diversify with, we'll diversify with affiliates, we'll diversify with AdSense, we'll diversify with all sorts of different things, because you never know what day one is going to hit. One day the next one will hit, and you like to play with everything.
Yep, we are even considering experimenting with some drop shipping.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's see. Sex, nudity, swearing, and frank. That's the SEO show for you. So if the SEO show, just for you guys, if you're planning on watching from work, you should probably wear headphones. If you're planning on watching with small children in the room, CPS may come and take them.
But my children could actually teach Frank a couple of words that he doesn't know.
I was a child until I found this site. Well, Kevin, glad we could have you guys. Not you guys. Glad we could have you here. You've definitely taken advantage of it, more so than most people have. And when it first started out, I know we were a little shaky at first, but that was just Andrew and myself being overwhelmed with tons of stuff. But we love you.
And I'll tell you what, but you've seen, like, I've actually seen Kevin's knowledge just freaking explode out, with the point that Kevin's even on Facebook and he's answering other people's questions, and he's been able to do some great things.
Yeah, I remember I remember way too much in detail, but some of the support tickets that you actually sent in when we all had our first introductions from the source landlord. Well, it was like forever ago, but no, Kevin, you've been around a while. We love having you around, and glad you made it back to SEMeasy, and glad you're sticking around for the long haul here. Let's see, we got a new question. If everyone drops SEO terms in their chat box during this broadcast, we could create an SEO monster when Google ranks this hangout. Pure spammy keywords. Too bad we're not selling something.
Look at Frank molesting the whole thing again. All right, multiple income streams are awesome. And once again, this is Byron. So Byron, awesome. And I shot you out an email before, Byron. Once again, Byron has been doing, if you guys don't know, Byron is a little monster when it comes to SEO. Byron has his own clients. He's been out there doing it. It's not a matter of just people that sit around and talk about, hey, listen, if you do this and if you do this, then you can do this. Well, Byron's actually one of these guys out there doing it, so he actually knows. And Byron does have multiple income streams, because I've seen some of the stuff that Byron's done. So.
All right, we got Frank going. You look sexy, Andy. Don't worry. All right. With Google going after thin content, what are you planning on doing for your sites?
Well, very interesting that you say that, because I actually we had a couple of content curation plugins that we had used. We're still doing a couple more tests before I really throw my name on something, because some of them had security flaws, some of them didn't. There are a couple of content curation plugins that will set up schedules and basically just put them into another category where, so it doesn't totally screw up everything else you have going on. Throw into another category and just let constant content continue coming through into the site, and just building up site and getting those spiders back, and obviously building up content and everything else. The problem is with those plugins, if you don't control them, they will start to screw up your entire site. So you've got to almost be able to control some of those plugins and be able to put them into be able to filter them into a category or two, or a couple of subcategories. But I don't want to put my name on one of them just yet. I don't feel comfortable enough, but we will within the next couple of days, we'll get you guys something.
And you know, maybe that will be the first SEO show. We get in contact with the author of the plugin.
Yeah, absolutely.
See if they want to come on with Frank.
Absolutely.
All right, we got so Ralph is saying click their name in the chat questions. That's probably in response to somebody else's question. Not quite sure who that was intended for. Click on their names and
yeah. Let's go back to the.
That might have been for the SEO show.
Yeah.
That might have been for us actually. Okay, let's see what else have we got here. There's so many questions. We're trying to get through them. And again, if you see a question that you like, please upvote it because it brings it to the top of the list once you got more than one or two.
Is there anything different we need to do when creating our PBNs now that Google is on the warpath against them?
Google's been on the warpath against PBNs for the past 4 or 5 years, guys. This is nothing new.
Absolutely.
It's all about how you choose to go about either building your PBN or utilizing somebody else's network. Let the camera refocus here. When we set out to do the landlord type project, the landlord style sites, we had a simple goal in mind, which was A, be able to get these listings for the longer tail keywords, and B, do it without using a PBN. And we don't use any backlinks.
And then C came in as far as being able to do it fast.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was obviously
C was being able to do it fast, which we've been working on quite a bit, but I'm not going to get too far into that detail.
No, but I'm talking about even with index assault and being able to get those
sites out there, not only built fast, but also into the SERPs as quickly as humanly possible.
Right. That's what I mean by fast. I mean, you know, that was our goal. And to be honest with you, you know, the things that you should be doing with your PBNs and the things I would love to see is that all of our PBNs right now, we all go through Cloud DNS.
Yeah.
You know, we all of our stuff is going through Cloudflare. So I can tell you is that I would be interested to see if anybody had. I mean, everybody's screaming that their PBNs were de-indexed, but you know,
whose PBNs
were de-indexed that were on Cloudflare. Yep. And if you did, then you probably had a pretty big ass footprint going on.
You had to have.
Because Cloudflare is truly hanging out and hiding in plain sight.
There's 101 DNS
50 male, no,
51
50 females, 51 males, or vice versa. There's only a handful of C-class IP addresses. So it makes it really difficult, right? When for instance, like going through the airport, right? And they have the new technology. They have face recognition.
Sure.
Everybody's wearing the same mask, so they can't really kind of pick out who the bad guy is.
Yep.
So that's sort of what it is. I mean, you're just hiding out in plain sight. Yep. And with your PBNs, if you are not using Cloudflare, then you should be. And trust me, somebody will put out a WSO or a JV product saying, wow, use Cloudflare. And
I'm just waiting for a huge PBN product came out. I thought they were going to be talking about a Cloudflare during the whole PBN week because we had been talking about it for a few months here, but I was surprised that it wasn't. And unfortunately, most of the stuff that was taught got slammed by the latest update. But you know, we kind of expected all that moving forward. It's all about hiding in plain sight. If you're on Cloudflare, it's not the same issue like, okay, there's a pool of 101 name servers, only a few hundred CNAME DNSs or CNAME IP addresses. So you told me it shouldn't be on shared hosting because those IP addresses are associated with crap sites. But now you're telling me that I should have my primary DNS resolver be one of these 100, which serve up hundreds of thousands of sites. Like, are you just telling me what's convenient for what we're talking about? And no. Your money sites themselves should have their own dedicated IP addresses. The sites that you're trying to get ranked up in Google, go out, buy a $10 IP address for the year, and make sure you're the only one using it. For your PBN sites, the sites that you're trying to keep quiet from Google, put them on, their own subclass of IP addresses, or buy your own block of IP addresses so you're not linked into anything. You're not on some shitty shared hosting account. Your page load speeds on the PBNs themselves will increase dramatically just from having them on your own boxes, let alone like a high-powered dedicated server or even a mid-tier PBS. I can't even think. Even a mid-tier VPS would do you much better than a shared hosting account. And then once you have them all routed through Cloudflare as your primary DNS resolver, you're in the clear anyway. But don't have your money sites floating on or your target sites floating on crappy shared hosting A or crappy shared IP addresses B. And
honestly, a couple of other things in reference to PBNs. Don't use the same articles on all of your PBNs.
Yep.
You know, if this one site has 10 articles and it's on, and you're just basically duplicating it over to the next set of PBNs, mix them up. I mean, you can use a spun article. That's not the issue. But if you have the same pattern of how they're linking out, it's pretty easy for them to find it.
And if you're not using a standardized plugin, standardized theme, one that comes with WordPress, the reason we love using 2012, 2013, 2014 is A, they're responsive, B, they're standardly installed on any WordPress install. So that what that means is that there are hundreds of thousands of people, from people who are doing what we're doing to people who are just Joe Schmo blogger who likes writing about the food he makes on Sundays. Everybody's using these themes, so there's no footprinting issue. But if you have your own custom theme that you're using for your PBNs and you just tweak it a little bit, changing the colors and whatnot, you're leaving a footprint, man. Use one of the standard themes that everybody else is using. Again, you're hiding in plain sight. It's Where's Waldo we're playing here, not Anne Frank in the attic. And I'm Jewish, I'm allowed to say that.
She'd be a believer.
She'd be a believer. So again, to answer your question, Keith, and I saw you had somebody else had posted something too. I think that was Kenny Perkins. Close name. Keith, to answer your question again, is there anything different you should be doing now that this whole thing is hit? No. Unless you were hit hard, then no, you've been doing it right, and you've been doing it how we said. If you pushed a button and got some nice rankings, or Andrew's actually a push button customer a while ago, and you saw the opposite of what was supposed to happen actually happen. But if you think it's going to be that easy moving forward when it didn't even work back then, you're wrong. You have to change, and that's how you should be. That's what you should be doing differently. But if you've been creating these from scratch and following our advice or the advice of numerous other people out there, there's not only one group who's saying this, then you should be fine. And again, we have the courses section set up on SEMeasy, so we should probably go and actually create a PBN course, like real,
that's on the list.
And it's not going to take a week to do. It's going to take some time to do, guys. It's not going to be one straight week of PBN material.
And it's going to be something that changes, that we're going to have to go back in and change as Google changes up and everything else.
Document. And if you took a quiz and we changed the lesson, then you're going to have to retake the quiz again. Sorry, but it takes like 2 minutes to take one of those things. Anyway.
All right, so let's push on, because we got a ton. I mean, just
we're coming up to about 40 minutes here.
Okay, what software do you use? What software do you use to build out the SERP landlord sites, and when it will be available to the members, as previously stated? We have our own proprietary software, and we will let you guys know ASAP. Why do you think that Jake has been programming all day and night for the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, we've got quite a few people working on it right now, myself included, and it's we're just making it as best as humanly possible. I don't want to. I got the demo or where I'm at in the build process, up in another tab here, but I'm not gonna screw the pooch early, and show all my marbles when we're not ready yet. We've spent a long time making sure
it is in fact coming though, and it's coming soon.
Yeah,
so.
But we've been spending a long time doing in-house testing, and the landlord beta relaunch is going to be the second phase of in-house testing on that. But we're connecting everything together, making it as seamless as possible, and we just want to make sure we have a good quality product here. So that's all I have to say about that. Let's see. Can we please buy
Ben some socks?
Can we buy Ben some socks? Are you wearing socks, Ben? Ben's got headphones on. I think we bored him. Are you in socks?
No.
Fuck.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
He's like Matt. Or at least Matt wore socks.
Okay, so
Matt Cuts?
Matt Cuts? No.
Just a comment, not a question. I just became a premium member through the SEO show. I'm stoked to be hanging out with you guys and just shooting the shit. No BS, scarcity.
Yeah. If you don't go to SEMeasy.com right now and buy a premium membership, we're raising the price to $4.99 a month moving forward from here on out. So Yeah, you got 5 minutes. And by the time you see this, you probably only have 30 seconds, so you better rush.
Well, we appreciate it, man. That's what we're trying to do. Hopefully we'll change the internet marketing community.
Yep. We've actually, now you bring that up, we've been talking with a lot of different people, not people, they're celebrities, but
yeah,
high-powered people, I should say, is the best way to put it, in the SEO, SEM marketing, internet marketing community themselves. And they've actually reached out and said, hey, you guys have been stirring some shit over the past, not shit, but you've been making waves over the past few months. And a lot of people have asked if we're interested in doing sort of like open marketplace or opening up the SEM plugin maybe for authors to publish their own extensions and whatnot through us, and we knock out all this bullshit of, you know, buy now, email list, campaign list, whatever. No, we just have one nice centralized hub for everything. And, you know, we're very interested in that. We talked about it months and months ago when SEMeasy was first launched, but, you know, it's something we're interested in exploring. Unfortunately, right now we're in the middle of some really, really cool stuff, or I am, and I know Andy is, that we're trying to get released, so we can't do that right away, but it is on the, it is back there somewhere, and it's been there for a while, and it's definitely something that we're interested in doing. So you could expect SEMeasy to not only be, you know, our community hub, but it could wind up very well or very easily becoming the hub of the entire community that we know. So again, Kenny, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. And I guess Frank made his first commission.
Yeah,
so,
look at that.
So it's actually worth it already.
All right, so
or conversion, I should say. He's, again, Frank's not getting paid to make you guys sign up. So let's see. Kenny's got another thing here saying,
what is up with
Network Empire? With what Network Empire is saying, should we really be logged out of Gmail, Facebook, etc. when working on site PBNs? Kind of freaked me out when I heard that. Yes, absolutely. I haven't read the article itself, but if you are logged into your Google account, every time you load up a page, a Google-related page, Google knows that you're the one who did it. Every time you do a SERP, Google knows you're the one who did it. If you're stupid enough to install analytics on your website, or you visit a website with analytics on it, Google knows you visited it, okay? They're not stupid. They have a cookie. You can look at the cookie on your computer and your desktop, or not your desktop, in your browser, or you could even go through the desktop to go and grab it. But it has a personal identification number on it, or an account identification. They say it can't be linked to you in person, but if it could be linked to your Gmail account, then it could definitely be linked to you in person, especially with Google Plus and all the emails they have going back in there.
Yeah, but I'm also looking where it says Facebook. I really wouldn't be that concerned.
Facebook and Google right now are at odds with each other. They have been for quite some time. Unless they team up, don't worry about logging in and out of your Facebook account unless you're concerned about tracking with Beacon and getting targeted with Beacon ads. I mean, it's real interesting, right? You got Google set up with AdWords, and they're making tons of money, and they kind of force all these Silicon Valley companies to realize that the best way to make money is through A, selling people's data, and B, selling advertisements targeted to people. So you got Google so you got Facebook who copies it, MySpace before then, but Facebook copies it and they introduce their own advertising platform. So what does Google do in response? They make Google Plus. So they're gathering more metrics there, and they now need to compete with Facebook because they don't want people going, oh, well, Facebook has a lot more information about these people because they got user profiles. That's where Google Plus spawned from. And now you have Amazon, which used to display AdWords. I don't know if you remembered, but they no longer do that. They built their own ad service. They realized, hey, we have all these metrics. We see what people are buying, and the only reason to put an ad out there, if you're not doing it for an event, is to get somebody to buy something. So they were, sorry for that spit there, but they were like, yo, why don't we just build our own advertising network? So very soon you'll start to see tracking beacons from Amazon and your Amazon account going out to other websites, and those cookies being sent back to the Amazon servers as well. So there are a few companies out there that manage all these advertisements. They're growing more and more every day, and they are tracking you. No doubt about it, they are tracking you. Should you be concerned with Google and the tracking? It depends how many searches you're doing. It depends how often you're visiting your sites and whatnot. If you're using Chrome, there may be the potential that they might be getting information from websites that you are visiting without, I mean, regardless of whether or not you're logged in or the site has analytics set up. if you are logged in through, let's say you're logged into your Google account through Firefox and you visit your PDBN site, if you didn't search for it on Google and you just typed in the direct link to it, and it's just a straight WordPress install,
You should be fine on that.
you should be absolutely fine. Google's not going to know you visited it. But if you're logged into
You
Chrome,
also open, even in Firefox, open up a
a private tab. But
and
if you're in Chrome, they might know. Privacy concerns are abound there, but you never know with these companies. And if the site has Google AdWords set up, if you set up AdWords on your PBN or something, yeah, they're going to know. If you visit a site that has Webmaster Tools set up, yeah, they're going to know. Let's see. So that's pretty much that answers that question. Greg's going, I have a surgeon on the hook for a major city. I was thinking of building a SERP Shaker site that targeted surgical keywords for his region and overlaying his site on them, or a landing page to download a voucher. Is that a good idea? It's a great idea. Absolutely. That's one of the methods we teach.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Let's start blowing through some of these because
we'll start going a little bit faster. So sorry, we're not gonna be able to answer them in depth, but we're already pushing at that hour mark. Okay, Doug Huggins, nice to see you again. Doug is going, in a previous Hangouts, Jake talked about how fast he was able to get national sites out. Would you share with us the specs on your computer? It's just taking us too long to get a massive site page out. We don't build them locally on our desktops and then ship them up into the cloud. The entire thing is built in the cloud and it lives on the cloud. Yes, we do have a 10-minute build time for 180,000 page or post WordPress install. We got those algorithms have been developed, and I wrote out the flow diagrams and the theoretical algorithms and all that stuff and passed it off to our dev team, and they worked on implementing it. And right now they're in the process of we're in process of connecting front end and back end, and I'm coding up the front end user interface for the entire thing. But that's on the side with like 2 other things right now. It's not a matter of you installing a program on a WAMP or a LAMP stack. And by the way, if you're installing like a LAMP stack or a WAMP stack or whatever on your local computer through XAMPP or Instant WP or whatever, all that crap's got overhead too that's taking up processing power and taking up your memory and shit. So, it's not the ideal situation. And then even once you do have it developed locally, you then have to port it out and export or do a move either through a plugin or through a database backup. It's not ideal to be doing it locally and then pushing it off. It's a solution for now when there's nothing really major else out there to do it for you. But like I said, we're working on it. And the processors that run on those build servers, they're pretty intensive, but the algorithm's really, really, really lean, and it could actually run on pretty crappy processors.
Yep. You know what? Let's take a look at the questions. I think that we're grabbing some of the newer ones first, and I want to make sure that we.
Well, the ones that get upvoted go to the top. So, like I was saying, if there is anything that you guys want us to answer, please update or upvote them. Okay, Baron's got one with 2 here. What's the story with SERP landlord?
Well, we kind of discussed that. Like I said,
there's like 5, 10 not 5, 10. Honestly, there's 4 to 5 projects we're working on right now. It is one of them.
It is. It's the forefront of most of them.
And it's the testing ground for most of them too. But I'm working as fast as possible here. I know it seems like it's been like a year since we've all had a nice chat, but I promise you, I'm working as hard as possible. So what is the story with SERP landlord insofar as how we're looking moving forward? We got the beta access. We have our beta list for our relaunches, and we're going to be going into that as quickly as possible. But like I said, there's other stuff we're working on too. And for you guys who joined us for our super secret project, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, we got a question here
regarding building subdomains. How many subdomains would be conservative moving forward to a new domain? Conservative, less than 10.
Yeah. About
you want to push it a little bit more, you can probably do 30 to 50. If you want to get banned, you can do 100 or more.
Yep. And we've tried doing subdomains for our silo-esque structure, having sites dedicated to specific states, to specific counties. It seems to work okay on like a really local level. If you're doing like a site dedicated to a county and you do the subdomains for the individual towns in said county, you should be okay. But if you're doing a broad you know, US based site, don't sub it out into each individual state. I would say it's way too many. Next, we got Matt Helfrey here is going, in regards to SLL style sites, finally caught on. It used to be SSL for a while.
Yeah.
In regard to
So in reference to landlord style sites, right? How do we discern whether a niche is good or going to be rankable? It's really more, I mean, there's not really a direct process, but what it is we pick out, best way I can explain is pick out 5 to 10 local locations, not too huge, not too small.
Yep, I do. I usually do like someplace in New York City, someplace close to the office, someplace close to a prospective client if I already have one in California, one in
like
Florida,
one in
and
Texas,
one in
or
Texas,
something like that,
and then I try to hit some like nobody state like Nebraska or something.
And then what we do is we take a look at those keywords.
Sorry for any Nebraskans out there.
What we do then is that we take a look at those keywords plus those local areas, right, as one keyword phrase. We take a look and we explore what the niche looks like, and we explore what the SERP looks like. And if we think that we can jump in, we do. There have been certain times that we thought that we could dominate a niche and we were wrong. There were certain times where we thought we weren't going to be able to dominate a niche and we dominated it. I do like to tell people stay away from the service-based industries. The home service-based industries are horrifically taxing as far as the amount of competition levels that are in there. You know, so plumbers, all that sort of stuff. I mean, you know, once again, you gotta really, you know, pick your battles. And if you go on product-based stuff, you can nail that pretty easily.
Yep. All right, we got
yes, Cloudflare is giving away. It says I heard that Cloudflare is giving away all
free SSL certificates.
Could you address what it means?
Yeah. Okay. So for those of you who don't know what SSL stands for, first off, it's Secure Socket Layer. What does it mean for an end user? It means when they connect to your website, there's a little key exchange process that goes on between your public key and their public key, and then together they make like a super secret secure lock that only, you know, all the data you sent gets wrapped inside this locker, and then when it gets to them, they could unlock it with their private key, and you lock it up with your private key. And it's classic encryption, same model that's been used for years and years and years. There's a huge hole in it just that was released a few months back. You guys might have remembered the OpenSSL Heartbleed bug, and the NSA knew about that for years and years before, at least months before, we know, thanks to Snowden. But you know, that's been cleared up now and patched on any decent server or web host. But what it does is, not the bug itself, but what SSL does for your end users and for yourself is all data that's being transmitted over the web. You know, when you visit SEMeasy.com, you're not being connected straight to SEMeasy.com. You're being connected to the local hub of your telecom center, like Comcast or Verizon Fios or Optimum or whatever, and then they're branching out to their corporate like major hub, which is then branching out to a tier 3 internet provider like Cognet or tier 1 whatever, and then they're branching out to they provide like a data stream that connects over to your data center where your server is sitting for your website, but that takes a few hops through a bunch of different of those tier 3 providers, and then it finally reaches your server, and then your server goes and does the interaction it needs to do and serves back the page, but then it goes right back down the chain in reverse. But all that data that's being sent through those different chains are it's not encrypted if you're not using an SSL certificate, so it's wide open for anybody to see. If you are using a certificate, however, that data is encrypted and doesn't have any value until it's reached the end server and gets decrypted, and vice versa. The data being sent from the server has no real value until it reaches your browser and your browser decrypts it. So that's what it does. Regarding whether or not,
for all of you that, I mean, that is like, yes, that is the actual technical
I try to make it as easy as possible.
No, but what I'm saying is that is the technical, but the actual, I think, answer is, if you're building landlord style sites, if you're building PBNs and everything else, don't put an SSL on it.
There's no reason to.
Absolutely.
Until the majority of websites start using SSL certificates by default, don't do it. They're there for e-commerce based sites.
Right. If you have an e-commerce based site, if it's your money site that you're going to be
logging in or whatever, and they're submitting password data and whatnot, then yes, it's good to use an SSL certificate. Otherwise, Google's using it as a web ranking factor. Yeah, they're going to factor if an SSL certificate doesn't belong here, and there's tons of sites like this that look like they just slapped it on.
And you know what? Even though they can't see the who is, I guarantee you we can see SSL. I guarantee you we can see the owners of the SSL. I'd be really careful about jumping into that mix.
Exactly. All right.
All right. So love to see some training in reference to affiliate promo for CPA and ClickBank and other private affiliates. Yeah, we could jump into that, but a lot of it is just reference to the overlay and finding, but we could touch on some of that. That's definitely not a problem.
Yep.
All right. Not sure if you got my question, but the plugin affects certain themes, and therefore there's a particular.
WB. I wish there was a way to search through.
Yeah, by time period, because it keeps bouncing, and I'm sure Frank knows.
Person, I might be able. WB, I should be able to find it here, which is a simple find. You got a few questions actually. This one is in reference to plugins and themes. Okay, so the question is, I have no problem with the optimization of our sites, so we just switched over to using your software/plugin. Just need to know what is up with kinds of themes that can be used. It appears that all ink themes are having a problem with the plugin. Yeah, submit a support ticket if it seems like ink-based ink or themes from the ink publishing company or whatever are not working. We'll take a look as to why. It could be a functions issue or it could be a CSS issue. We'll figure it out. Let's see what else.
Sounds like the guy who has 30,000 posts has the wrong
money-making keywords. I have less than 250 posts on sites. The site, the least amount I am making per site.
Listen, AdSense is all about keyword research.
Absolutely.
It's all about keyword research and the ability to be able to inject yourself into that into that niche.
So if you've gotten up in your ranking in the SERPs, that means you did your keyword research for Google SERPs right. It doesn't mean you did your keyword research for AdWord right, and they're two completely different.
But still, at $2.50 a day, I mean, you can scale that. You can scale that real fast.
Exactly, that's great. But for I mean, the $500 per site and it's up to $7,200. That's what we saw after a few months of testing.
Yep.
Really, it really took us a while to get to that level. But once we did and realized we could quickly repeat it, it's I don't need to say any more on that. All right, but yes, you can make quite a lot of money with this method. Jake, how old are you? I'm 22 years young. What else we got here? My host is complaining about SQL is crashing his server. How can I make sure I don't sign up for crappy hosting? Oh, that's from the SEO show. I think that's a joke. But how do you make sure you don't sign up for crappy hosting? Either get a VPS. Don't buy a shared account. If it seems like it's really, really cheap, it probably is really, really cheap for a reason. It's because it's crap. Search for a VPS, and if you really want to go bare metal and have your own server rack, do a quick Google search for Endurance Internet. Pull up their Wikipedia page, and you'll see a list of like 50 to 100 different individual, server providers or hosting providers that are all linked up to EMI, that are all controlled and managed by EMI. So they include Bluehost, and what were some of the big ones on there?
I think Bluehost, HostGator, Orange,
Cloud9, Orangebox,
a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's even like 2 or 3 SEO dedicated ones that are run through EMI.
SEO hosting.
Yeah, they're known for overstuffing and underproviding. And we got out from underneath them as quickly as possible. I myself was a Bluehost member for a very long time, but best decision I made was getting out from under that whole umbrella.
I'm looking at some of these comments, Jake, and these were from a long time ago, so we're going to have to blow through some of these. Otherwise, this thing is going to be a 5-hour webinar.
Yeah, let's start going fast. Okay, nobody was de-indexed.
You put Webmaster Tools on. Yeah, guys. I mean, once again, Frank's right. A lot of people put Webmaster Tools. A lot of people, I mean, just did stupid shit. They were like, oh, well, if I put Webmaster Tools on, I could track it better. You know, and so can Google. So,
Yeah,
boom, you got
exactly.
slapped in the head. That's what you get.
You're too stupid to know how to use Public.
And yes, Frank.
You're
not getting
paid. Yeah. Don't you remember you were real drunk? We talked about this. All right. Having trouble with DA setting to an Amazon product. We used to be able to overlay Amazon, but I guess we overlaid too many Amazons because they don't allow you to overlay, or not even overlay. They don't allow Amazon links to be put into any iframe anywhere anymore, just like Google did a while back, and Yahoo the same. I used to be able to do Yahoo as well, and it was great. I mean, we used to be able to just put a client's product right up there and spam the organic searches and have this giant funnel going straight to a product. But as a workaround, you could either screen cap that web page, or you could export the HTML for that web page and have it up and running, and then have clickjack running to. And it's not, again, I named it clickjacking. It's not clickjacking in the classic sense where a user visits the site and it automatically either redirects them or clicks an AdWord or something. It's when they interact with the website and click on the overlaid page itself, then it goes out and does the redirection. But you know, as a workaround, you could either create a nice landing page for that
product in there, and you should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, you should be absolutely fine. All right. Next question.
This was Frank. This was the email that Frank had gotten. It said, just a quick email. This is the email that Frank had gotten from his web hosting provider. Just a quick email. Would you consider upgrading your plan? Your site chooses an extensive amount of load due to MySQL queries.
MySQL queries. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you know how many MySQL queries run every time a page on SEMeasy is loaded? And that's partially my fault, because when I started programming SEMeasy, I didn't worry about, I didn't think it turned into the monster that it has today. So there's a lot of places in there that it could be cleaned up, but on a standard page load, you're on the wrong host, Frank. We gotta get you somewhere safe.
Would you use the Google Sitemap on your? Yeah, we use Google Sitemaps.
Not the plug-in Google Sitemaps.
Right, but we create XML sitemaps that Google is able to read. Yes.
Correct. Let's get rid of this from the SEO show. All right, Mario. Nice to see you again, Mario. It's going, can you tell me why DA goes back to free if not visited in a couple days, and is there a way to fix it on my end? I have a client that is several business seasonal business, and I am having reduced visits starting now, and doesn't look good when he visits, and back to bug. Okay, here's the problem with it. WP or WordPress has a function built it called WP cron. For those of you who are not programmers, whatever, what a cron job is in the classic sense is a function that gets run every X number of hours, or at a set interval, the server runs this function. Those are cron jobs. There's no way to put a cron job on a server from the application layer, or from like a plugin or installing a WordPress site. You have to set up cron jobs either through WHM, cPanel, or set it up through through Shell. And I guess there might be a cPanel API for setting up cron jobs. Regardless, doesn't matter. You can't do it. So what WordPress did was they created a function called WP cron, which mimics the cron job function, and it's pretty much just like a giant table. It says these are the functions we need to run every like interval, and keeps a timer since the last time it ran it. And every time a page is loaded on your site, it does a date-time differential and figures out if it's time to go and run that function. And if it is time to run the function, it runs the function. Problem with WP cron, though, is that if nobody's visiting your site, the functions are never going to run until you visit again. And by that time, if you've waited, I think it's set to either 24 hours or 48 hours now for the SEM plugin for the expiration time. If you haven't run it, then you're pretty much screwed, because it's not going to go and revalidate that your license is actually valid. So I'm going to be looking into the code a bit more, so that if the time has expired, it's going to go and send out a proper notice saying, hey, the WP cron just hasn't freaking run. That's some code update I have to do on my end here, but a temporary workaround for you guys, especially if you have a ton of sites.
Create a quick iMacro, run it every day.
Yeah, create either an iMacro and have it run every day, or create a pingdom.com account, which is a service that goes and pings out your site. You set it to how many hours or minutes or whatever, and it just monitors for downtime. And
oh, there you go.
that,
Yeah,
that will load up your site on a an hourly
basis. Ping out once a day. Boom,
exactly,
you're good.
You're good.
All right, awesome.
All right, next question. Again, sorry to have to rush through this, but
thanks for responding to my question about themes. Don't want to spend too much time researching the issues. Time is money.
Time is money. Yeah, time absolutely. Is money. But if you think it's worthwhile, I'd be happy to take a look. Just give me a little bit of lead time, because to drop everything I'm doing, I'm working 4 different projects, and they're all coding, and some of the projects have upwards of 6 different languages in them, and it's really hard to just drop everything. That's why you may have noticed, guys, my support queue has gotten backlogged a little bit. If I haven't answered your tickets, it's not because I don't want to, or I hate answering support tickets. I really don't want to ever do it. I don't think anybody really does. But it's not because I hate you, or I'm lazy, or I'm on vacation, or I'm ignoring you or whatnot. It's because I'm in the middle of some really, really heavy code stuff, and if I drop it to answer a support ticket as soon as it comes back, or as soon as it comes in, it's going to take me twice as long to get back into the the role, or the rut I was already in. Not okay. Rut, what I'm saying. All right, anyway.
Are plugins like Link Juice Keeper and Spider Spanker leaving a footprint, or?
We've been targeting from what you guys have seen or heard. It depends when the plugin runs. If it's being run completely server side and there's nothing facing forward, then there's no real footprinting issue there. If it is on the forward side, there are things that plugin developers can do to make it more anonymized, to leave less footprints, and then we're working on the SEM plugin itself to do that. But you don't really need to worry all too much. Look, guys, Google didn't go like balls to the wall. They didn't like go to the war room with like all their developers and go, yo, we got a major fucking problem here. Let's fix this PBN issue. Let's find these footprints. Let's write algorithms. They didn't do that. This was a really simple, we found this
couple of footprints that seem to be pretty widespread, and we're gonna hammer it.
And these people are making a good deal of money off of this, and let's fucking shut this shit down, guys. Enough is enough, and that's all they did. If you're relatively safe, or if you're practicing relatively safe or doing relatively safe practices, you should be fine.
Wear a rubber.
Don't worry about it. Wear a rubber. Can we have Ben visit all our sites and keep it active instead of using iMacros?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll get him right on that. We'll add it to his daily list.
When buying a PBN site, I can understand that if I use one as my money site with the backlinks.
All right, let's not mumble.
I'm having a hard time here.
When buying a PBN, I can understand that if I use one as my money site, the backlink should not have any spam tracks in it. But as a tier 1 PBN site, can we have a few gaming/vitamin backlinks, given that the trust flow and citation flow are decent? It
all depends.
It really does all depend. I don't like the two.
Once again, a website is a website, yeah, but in our heads we separate between a money site, which is something that is like our holy grail that we will do everything to protect. Then we have our PBNs, which we obviously want to protect them as much as humanly possible because we don't want them to get hit because they have a lot of power. Yep. And then we have our landlord style sites, which if one goes down, we'll have another one up by lunchtime. So we kind of, even though they're all websites, I mean, they're all exactly the same as far as websites go, right? A website is a website. But
and when you're talking about buying a PBN site, unless there's somebody who's making or has already made the PBN for you, you're just buying a site. You know, you're just buying a URL. So yeah.
So I mean, once again, what I would do in reference to any sites I'm buying to be used as one of my private blog networks, if I wouldn't consider using it for my money site, I wouldn't consider using it for my private blog network. That's about the best thing I can say on that.
And if Google did do any algorithm work insofar as these PBNs are concerned, what they're going to be doing is probably parsing on-page content on the PBN itself. And first thing they check is how many sites are linking back are linking out from this site, and if it's a shitload, then it's obviously a PBN. Don't trust it. If it's not one of their already predetermined, these are our authority sites like Wikipedia, can link to whoever they want, and Google's not going to care. The second thing they're going to be looking for is they already have the algorithm in place for parsing on-page content and determining what's relevant to, and they might just compare the two and make sure they're relevant. So if you're running a money site for selling kittens and you're linking back from gaming /vitamin websites, it's probably not a good idea. I know the God of SEO did some reports on where some of these other PBN links were coming from, and they're coming from like Japanese or Chinese-based websites or websites with absolutely no relevancy to the target money site itself. And that's a really easy thing for Google to do. To think that to have the hubris that Google can't frickin' determine what's on your site and whether it's related to the site that's linking to it, it's just beyond me. You know, they obviously can because they have Google search results. So
and they can parse, you know, they parse AdSense. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's there.
Yeah, on every page load, they're parsing AdSense to figure out which
instantly.
Yeah, to figure out which freaking ad to display. So yeah, all right. Is there an easy way to check your own site for footprints? Not really. You could push the F12 button if you're in Firefox and you have the Firebug installed. I think F12 works by default in Chrome. Or you right-click and go inspect page, inspect object, or right-click and go to view page source, and just start looking for things that don't look like they belong.
But it's obvious.
There.
I mean, if it's you have, you know, if you have 5 sites that you're using for your PBN and they're all linking, you know, and you're using them to try and link out to 10 different sites, and they all link out to the same 10 different sites, all using, you know, the articles. I mean, it's just pretty easy. It's just like it's like a lot of that common sense stuff. But people don't tell you when they get their PBN de-indexed, yeah, I was stupid. You know, they just don't. They don't tell you like, yeah, man, I did something really, really, really dumb to get caught. You know, and a lot of times we don't even see the stupid stuff that we do ourselves because we have our eyes too close to it. So
and everybody leaves footprints when they're doing it. I want to make this very, very clear. It's all, but the difference is like it's like you committed a murder. You're doing SEO, right? And is the footprint that you're gonna leave, is it gonna be a bloody footprint,
or
is
your
it,
wallet,
or no, or is it gonna be a footprint that they need to get like the NCIS people out there to go and dust and really get in?
Or did you leave your fucking wallet at the crime scene?
No, I'm saying like did you walk through the blood and they could see your footprint right there? Is it that freaking obvious, or are they gonna have to come in and, you know, hire somebody special to go with the fingerprint dust and really go, because they're not taking the time to do that. But if it's blatant, then it's no work on their behalf. All right. Anyway, keep going here. Is there any way you can get a different DNS for Cloudflare, as I keep getting the same and there is 500,000 domains in the same DNS as me?
No.
You're not going to be able to get your own unique one from Cloudflare.
They only have 101 of them.
And you could set up a new account, and that will give you 2 new name servers. Most probably you got what, like a 1 in 101, or it's like a 98% chance of getting new servers than the one you already had. But again, it doesn't matter. It's where's Waldoing your site, so it won't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like Google's freezing up here because it's not letting me get on to the next question. So Andy,
Google's full.
Google's full. All right, okay, here we go. We're back. All right, Doug Huggins is going, if we are doing multiple sites to dominate a SERP, how long should we wait between setting up the next site?
As soon as you press go, set up the next site.
Just keep them coming.
Keep them going.
Yep, there's no reason to wait. Unless your content is identical or very, very close. Do we have to build a PBN to rank a landlord site? Not if you do it right. We do not. And we've ranked thousands of them. Let's see. Does having really huge sites, let's say covering the USA, affect your host or your billing?
Yes, it could.
If you're on a shared host and you do this, and then you get hit by Cloudflare, they're going to kick you off the shared host, because honestly, for $3 a month, you're not you're not contributing anything to their
you're just hogging their resources.
Exactly.
We have dedicated servers that we use.
We've spent months and months configuring and getting the proper flow, and when this stuff's all finally released, we're probably most likely going to be providing servers for you guys directly, because, you know, we've already figured out, we've been doing this for freaking 2 years now, man. It's been 2 years. Okay. John saying tonight's been really helpful. You're welcome.
Awesome,
Thanks
John.
for stopping by. Do you know any DMOZ listing services? I'm not aware of any either. Hi, I've been here for a while, just catching up. What was the forum for discussion you mentioned? We talked about the forum quite a bit, but I think one of the points about the forum was the SEO show is going to be getting its own thread, and then there was something else about it. But again, we got hundreds of questions here, trying to jump through them. I can put my picture, email address, and all my PBNs. Yep. Integrity, not sure what unfortunately there's no time code.
And what happens is these things are jumping all over the place. So
yep. LOL Tosser. I could only imagine who that's about. Let's see. Join the dot club has a theme on the plugin doesn't work.
Well, John, when we originally built this, the software for ourselves, we wanted to run it. We weren't looking to run it on very fancy themes. We were looking to run it on the lightest themes possible because we were overlaying everything. So yeah, there are going to be sites out there. There are going to be themes out there that have CSS that conflict and.
Yeah, but if you're overlaying another site, then it doesn't even matter.
It shouldn't have to look good. It should just load really, really, really fast.
All right. Here's a question here from Fiverr. Submit your site to DMOZ. So for $5, I haven't vetted this at all. I'll open up another tab and see what it looks like. I will submit your site to DMOZ expertly for $5 about the gig. All right, so everybody could see that link right there. Take note of it if you're interested. Maybe this guy's gonna make a ton of money. It doesn't. They're not showing the queue.
No, do the overlay.
Overview.
The overview.
I am, but they usually show how many orders are in queue.
Yeah, they usually
I guess they've changed it up. Either this guy's really popular or he isn't popular yet. But he's got 1,429 reviews for SEO itself. So
we are at 90 minutes.
All right, we're at 90 minutes. I do have a meeting.
Is there a list of hosting services in the members area?
If there are they updated on a regular basis?
No,
Thank you. We haven't, but that's something we definitely could do. And I know tons of people have jumped out to Limestone as a result of us promoting them. So Ben, take a note to get in contact with Limestone. We might be able to do some reduced pricing. Let's see.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin Smith. That's great. Absolutely. Kevin's made strides over the past few months. If we're using SSL, so all the money sites have their own IP, but we don't run them through a CDN. That's fine. If they're your money sites, then you shouldn't be doing heavy linking out from them, or trying to stuff a ton of them on one IP address anyway.
Ralph brought up Tor, and I guess Tor was talking about when logging into your sites and stuff like that. You could absolutely use Tor.
You could absolutely use Tor. Although if you're trying to use Tor to try to boost up your search volumes and shit, Google just doesn't. Well, they're not taking the metrics from Tor browsers. So can you summarize the authority citation strategy?
We did that. We hit that one before.
And we will get back to it more in depth in other sessions. On behalf of a customer to get his site in the top 5, I am competing against 2 sites that have a large amount of pages on that exactly the same amount of contact on them apart from one geographical world, and each page ranks high. I think that was more of a comment than a question itself. Yeah, I mean, when you're competing with authorities that have been there for a while, it's kind of hard.
Once again, time is a part of the algorithm that the longer it's been there.
A lot of these directory sites have very, very thin content, though, which is really good news when we're trying to attack them with the landlord-style sites.
All right, you better not stop this hangout.
This is a really good one, guys. I don't know why it's so good, but this one turned out to be a good one.
Yeah, it did.
Where is the live event? Let's have a mastermind, and every time footprint is said, Ben takes a shot.
Nice. Nice.
Is WP Snowball worth looking at for content curation? I don't know if that was the one Andrew was talking about mentioning or not.
No, it wasn't. I was looking at it. I'm going to look at that one, though. I appreciate it.
If that's it sounds like WP Snowball. It sounds like it's sort of like a
I think I remember when that came out.
Sounds switched over time type plugin.
Yeah, no, I think I remember when this came out. It came out just a couple months ago, and it's a content curation that Snowball.
I know Spin Rewriter released a free version, or not a free version, a free plugin that ties into their API. So if you have a Spin Rewriter account, there's a drip plugin that will go in once you put in your article. It'll go spin it out, and then they could drip in.
Yeah, if you have a Spin Rewriter, right, it's a free WP article.
So that might be the same thing.
That might also be something that we're going to look into as well.
It's
limestone.com.
Yeah, I believe it's Limestone. Works.
We'll put that up on the site, but that's just for dedicated hosting. But once again, you got to get the servers pretty much configured the way that you need them to be configured.
Yep. Are you saying we should set up a wiki page for each of our websites?
No, I'm not saying that.
No, you're not going to be able to.
Paul, you're going to be lucky if you're able to get up one. You're going to be lucky if you're able to get up one business Wikipedia page for your main money site. It's not something that you can just bust out really fast for each one of your sites.
Yep.
All right, we can skip that one. That's Gary. Okay, Gary. That's Baron. Okay.
Yep.
Got
it. His is much older than theirs. It's got to look into the metrics. Not going to be able to give you a solid answer just from knowing like the overview. But hit us up on chat at some point, and we'd be more than happy to take a look.
Absolutely.
Nothing better than some good data. Let's
Still
see.
good at half the price.
Still good at
that was
half the price.
Probably something that came along.
All right, all my PBNs are fine. I set mine over 100 hosts using specific industries built similar to websites. Perfect. That's the first step right there. With all pages, with ads, all purchased with different names, etc. Perfect.
Just trying to cover as many footprints as
you made your PBN look like a standard website, which, duh, you know. How's it going again, Mike? Going awesome. Very well, thank you. I hope it's going great by your end. Thanks for the answer. I use Cloudflare and VPS for everything. Yep, same here. It's great. No reason not to. There are much better Yahoo tools to help rank. That was in reference to something we had mentioned something Yahoo earlier, but okay. Would you consider subdomains of subdomains adding to the total number of subdomains to have to the current site to be saved? Yeah, no, now you're just bastardizing it even further. You might be able to do 2 hops back, but they're still counting as subdomains. I'd have to look back at the algorithm to see how they're counting them off branched, but they still do count. So let's see, what else do we got here? Why does DA we already hit that? Thank you for the link, Power Flush in UK. Awesome. Thank you, Power Flush.
This was at the very beginning.
Yeah,
why the recording's in it.
We already went over that. To click here to transfer through to the Hangout. Yep, you got to use the click here if you haven't. I'm trying to send traffic through Double Agent to Amazon. Yep, we already answered that one. Use the click here to transfer. Yeah, I missed the last 2. Yep, we're going to get those back online. Can you tell me why DA page goes? Yep, already answered that one. Tell everyone to click the bottom left. Already got that. See, these are all the ones from the beginning. Did you see my question? Which is that, or what is the URL? Not sure what that was in reference to, but chances are we probably put it out there already. Did you see my, that was probably to Where's the SEO Show? Did you see my question, which is this? That was my question. Yep, so you see it. And then
DA or PA. Okay, you know what? I'll actually hit this real fast. So you got domain authority and page authority, right? And what they are is a third-party metric used by a third party, like citation and trust flow that Majestic uses, DA or PA. Once again, they're all third-party metrics. It's not what Google actually uses. It's what they're in their best estimation by looking at backlinks and looking at linking profiles that they assign you numbers. Once again, they're not exactly arbitrary, and they do go out and they do give you, decent metrics. What I say is, you can use Ahrefs, you can use Majestic. You can look at both of their third-party algorithms. They're both good, but I mean, I don't rely heavily on either one of them. I like to look at both of them across the board. Each one of them looks at things slightly different. But once again, Google doesn't use, like, people actually think that Google looks at it and says, well, it's a high DA. Well, Google doesn't assign a DA. They don't know what they don't really know what DA is. They assign PageRank, and even though people think that PageRank is dead, the updates and the green bar of PageRank is dead, but PageRank is very much alive inside of Google, and they don't want to show it to you. So they used to update it like once every 3 months. Now we're going to be lucky if they update it every year, and it's just a quick snapshot in time, and that could change like instantly. But PageRank is constantly changing every day, every couple of hours.
All right. What is the cost for hosting for how you guys are running things? Well, I mean, for SEMeasy, that server is almost $1,000 a month in and of itself. That's just the SEMeasy.com server.
And then we have our chat modules. We have this. They're all hosted different places.
Big Blue Button we're still paying for. The DigitalOcean Droplet. There's some other sites we have set up. For the landlord-style sites, all those are sitting subbed out in proper servers, and those cost quite a bit as well. But you don't need... If you're only running 1, 2, 3, maybe 10 of these landlord-style sites, just a $20 VPS account is more than enough to get you up and running.
It says, can you shoot a video breaking down? No, not really. I mean, that'd be like teaching you how to do server management, which really is not our...
Maybe at some point if there's enough demand, but post to the forum right now, there's a lot of people with a lot more time than we have right now to break down those things, and we're a lot more well-equipped to do it because that's what they do every day.
Low cost, I don't know. I'm staying away from, I have stuff that was on Clowcoast. I'm staying away from, I stay away from any SEO hosting at all, period. Like I said, it's not really matter for us. It's a matter of DNS for us at this point.
Power Flush UK is saying something about, it looks like we answered a few questions that look like they were from you, but they're not actually from you or something. Question got cut off.
Questions that look like they
look like they are from me, but Power Flush UK for your info, but not sure where you're getting at with that. But if you finish up that question, I'd be more than happy to answer it for you. Have you heard of Peter Garrity's hybrid PBN? Is it just Cloudflare? I've been in a black hole as far as the IM world's concerned, because I've just been coding. I haven't paid any attention to it. But I know there's another PBN thing that just came out. It was just essentially like infinite WP or whatever. So you know, I'll have to look at that before giving you a you know, my opinion on the entire thing. What do you guys, what tags do you add to your spun content pages, LSI states, etc., etc.? We use a combination of tags and categories. We generally try to keep categories specific to location-based data and tags for LSIs. It seems like the most natural thing in, you know, any standard website. Yeah. So yes, we do add tags and content. But
I only asked one question. What gives? I don't understand Power Flush. We've seen a bunch of questions come through.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe if
it could be just a Google thing, yeah. And you know, it
broke it up.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
man. But we did see it come up a bunch of different times with stuff. So
yeah, it could have just been the same question being divided out, or Google could have screwed up, and you know, is what it is. All right. And then finally, the last question from Ganti, and you've been quite active today. Thank you for that. Saying, do you need to install WordPress for each of the subdomains, or can you use the multi? If so, how? WordPress multi allows you to create a network of WordPress sites where if you have logins, it would only be one login across the entire site would be valid in one session, whatever. It also gives you an admin panel on the top of the WP multi-site network to be able to manage everything within the site from one backend. But you do need an individual install in order to create a WordPress multi-site. So you need multiple WordPress instances and then connect them all back together. So yes, you do need a individual install. Same as if you were doing a WP multi-site on subdomain, not subdomain, subdirectories, I should say, or completely non-associated domains. So each one does need its own installation. And that is pretty much it, guys. We answered all the questions. It is now 3:40, so this has gone on for a while. And I got to get running. I have a meeting in the city in a little bit, and Andrew's got some phone calls booked for this afternoon. And we got a lot of work to do as well, just, you know, office stuff, and then the super secret project list. Andrew and I got to finish going over that. And let's see, we got another one here saying, remember, people judge you by who you hang out with. Wow, I'm in good company. Glad we could entertain you guys. It looks like we had about 65 people jump in for this session today. Cool. And we got 64 still in there. There's going to be a ton more on the replays. There always are. Like, I look at the replays, I see like, oh wow, it was the last one. There's 100-something people that came up to the session, and then the replay count is over 1,000. I'm like, oh crap, it's crazy. It's over 10 times that. So, you know, if you didn't stop in today, this is going to be up on YouTube almost immediately for you guys to go and view, and I'll make sure to get the replay of this online. I really wanted to get those replays of the other stuff online today, but unfortunately this went a lot longer than I expected, so we might need to wait another day or so. But you know, that's just again, I'm sorry, but we said we weren't going to guarantee the recordings be available, and definitely didn't say they'd be immediately available, but I got them, working on them, noted, and yeah, okay. Next, we're still getting questions. Does this chat make my junk look better? This is an urgent question. Thanks.
Frank, the Hubble telescope couldn't make your junk look bigger.
PowerPoint's good.
Okay, understood. I have a customer who is competing against a niche that has hundreds of pages with only one word different on each page, but ranking for those pages. Yes, because all the shit that you thought you knew about duplicate content doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, you've been lied to so many fucking times. Like, think about this community of internet marketers, SEOs, has been molested over the past 5 years.
Horrible.
From every single angle, from the frontward facing angle with Google making you bend over, to the people who are supposed to be having your backs and creating the cool software.
Oh, and they got your back, all right.
They've got you back in the other fucking hole. And then you got these other people who have realized they can make a quick buck by doing, you know, providing content, and then they jump on the bandwagon that, you know, having duplicate content's bad because they want to make their money. No, if you do it right, duplicating content's not an issue, and we pretty much proved that site extensively, or proved that fact extensively with the landlord program and SERPShaker, whatever. No, don't duplicate content. You don't need to worry about it. There's a lot more ranking factors that are much more important. Keith's saying you guys are great. Thanks. Glad to hear it. We love
to follow up on the content curation.
Yep, we could absolutely do that. And there are actually webinars of content curation, aren't there? Pre-recorded. We have a one that's strictly dedicated to PBNs for cheaper content.
It wasn't, yeah, but it was content creation, not content curation. So yeah, no problem.
LMAO, yep. Hee-ho, that's how it goes, boys. Thanks. That's how it goes. Thanks, boys. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. This recording will be available. Yes, Google is assuring that this recording will be available immediately. It's just going to take me a little bit of time to make the graphic and post it up on SEMeasy.com, but it is on our Google Plus page and in our YouTube feed.
Yeah, and Gamty, thanks for everything. Yeah, you can actually pull those down off of Dropbox.
Thank you. I will send the links. Can I delete the old ones? Yep, absolutely. You can delete those links. And that is it. We made it through everybody's questions.
Crap.
It's been way too long. Love having you, but get the fuck out of my house.
I don't care where you go.
Yeah, don't care where you go. Can't stay here. So thanks for jumping in, guys. And Frank wants to have Ben's baby, so I don't think that's news to anybody, Frank. Alrighty.
Tell him I need new salmon shorts.
Ben needs new salmon shorts first, so you could spawn all over them. Alrighty. So thanks guys. Thanks for stopping by, and peace out.